Hello, welcome to another Lawn Fawn video. Today we're taking a look at the new Scripty Birthday die, as well as the new pop-up Wish Big and pop-up Hooray dies. So you can see that those cut those words out, and those letters coordinate with Oliver's ABCs. So you can see how those Oliver's ABCs cut out fit perfectly on the words that the pop-up dies cut. For my first card, I'm using the Wish Big, and I've cut it from some Hello Sunshine pattern paper, just that white pattern that has that little bunting design on it. And I'm just using the score lines that the die creates to gently fold along the top of the letters in a mountain fold and the bottom of the letters in a valley fold. I'm also going to fold the top line right above that in a valley fold as well, and it does not go all the way to the edges. And then I can fold it together and crease that corner that's going to go in a valley fold that's right on the edge. And once I have all those kind of started, I can lay it flat. Then I can use my bone folder to gently go across it and make sure all those folds are nice and sharp and creased. Now I can add the letters to this, and I've cut out my letters in some papers that coordinate with the Hello Sunshine paper that I plan on using on the front of this card. So I'm using Guava Cardstock, Raspberry, Fake Tan, Sunflower, Mermaid, Peacock, and then that G at the end is Guava again. So I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue to adhere these down, and I'm making sure that the bottom of the letters are right against that fold that's at the bottom, and they fit perfectly on the die cut. Now that that's all assembled, I'm going to work on the front of my card. So I have a mermaid cardstock card base, and I've cut a rectangle with the outside in stitched rectangle from that striped paper from Hello Sunshine. Now this is from a 12 by 12 piece, so it's a bigger stripe than the 6 by 6 pad. I've also cut a scalloped rectangle from that same bunting paper that I used on the inside. And this is where my sentiment is going to go. I've used the new Scripty Birthday die to cut out the word birthday in some raspberry cardstock, and then I've used Oliver's ABCs to cut out the letters to spell the word happy, using the same color cardstocks that I used on the inside. I'm just going to use my grid mat and the edge of my ruler here to make sure that those letters are lined up nice and straight. And then I'm laying my ruler on top to kind of hold them in place so I don't bump them. And I'm going to take a piece of low tack tape and go across all those letters so that they're held in perfect placement for me to put them on my card. So now I can add a little bit of liquid glue to the back of all those letters, and then I can pick it up as one piece with that tape and lay it down in perfect placement on my card. I thought I'd add a little bit of shimmer, so I'm just going in with my glitter pen and just doing a light layer of glitter on all of those letters that I just cut out and adhered down. Now for the second part of my sentiment, I've cut that Scripty Birthday from some sunflower cardstock and fake tan, and I'm just going to stack these so it's a little thicker and it stands out. And I cut them from different colors so you can kind of see the colors from the side when you see this word from the side. So it's not going to be super obvious, but it's just a fun little detail. So I've stacked that fake tan die cut on top of the sunflower, and now I'm just going to add glue to the top of this, and I'm going to stack the raspberry colored die cut on top. So now I can add this to my card base, doing the same thing with that liquid glue. I like the liquid glue because you can do a really thin line and you can kind of shift it around to make sure it's lined up. And then finally we're going to add the dot on the eye. So I've cut those from the same colors obviously when I cut them before, and I just kept them, and I'm going to stack them on the card base. it would be really hard to stack them just by holding them in my hand, so this is an easier way to get the same effect that we did with the die cut word birthday and get that same effect with the dot on the eye. So now that the front of my card is done, I can add the pop-up Wish Big that I made earlier to the inside. I'm just adding some double-sided tape to the long edges and the short edges. You want to make sure to avoid that part in the middle because that's the part that's going to pop out. So I'm going to remove that liner tape just from the bottom side of this sentiment. I'm going to stick that into the crease of the card on the inside. So I'm just lining up that fold with the fold on the inside. And this is partly why I did the one side first. There, now that I have it lined up, I can stick it down. And once that side's stuck down, what I can do is take the liner paper off of the other side that's going to stick to the top part of the card. And I'll just hold it in this folded down position, and then I'll just fold my card closed on top of it and pick up that adhesive, and that way I know that my card is going to close perfectly. So a really simple but bright and happy card with all these die cut sentiments. I thought I'd add a little more detail to the inside, so I've cut one of the bunting borders, the curved one, from some narwhal cardstock. I'm just going to add that to the top part of my card. That way I still have the bottom part below the wish big to write a greeting to the person I'm sending it to. And then I'm just going to add the little pennants that go on top. And of course, these are cut in the same colors that I use for the words. But I actually did skip the mermaid. You can see I put it there, and I realized it kind of blends with the background because the card base is the same color. So I just pulled that off. And I'm just going to skip that one color, especially since I have the peacock. It doesn't really make much of a difference. And then I can just trim off those little ends that stick out, and my card is all finished. So now I'm going to work on the pop-up Hooray, and I've cut this from some pattern paper again, but I've cut my letters from pattern paper this time as well. And I'm just using my ruler as sort of a straight edge to kind of fold those letters. And then I'm going to add those striped die cut letters to this pop-up. So these are going to look a little bit different. They're actually not going to stand out quite as much as those solid letters, but I think it has a cool look. It's almost like one of those mystery paintings where you have to kind of find the hidden word or find the hidden things. So once it's on the white card base, it kind of fades away a little bit, but it's still kind of fun. It's like the surprise word that you find hidden inside. I'm just going to add this to the inside of a card that I've already created. This is a good way to add a little extra interest to a card that you may already have laying around that needs a sentiment on the inside. So I'm doing the same thing that I did before. I'm laying it, or I'm adhering it to the bottom, and then I'm going to close it shut so that I know it always folds closed. Now let's look at some more examples. So here is another example of the Wish Big on some pattern paper inside that card, which is really fun. And then here's a Hooray, also with some pattern paper on the inside. So it stands out a bit more than the one that I did. Here's some examples from the design team. Here is the Wish Big and the Scripty Birthday in the sand. And you've got to take a look at the outside of this card that Chari created. It is so cool. I really love Megan's fairy tale card using that Scripty Birthday, and I love all those images she used together on this one. And then here's Melissa's underwater theme card. I love how she used that peekaboo backdrop to kind of frame everything up, and that Scripty Birthday goes across the whole card. Here's a simple card by Lynette where she uses the speech bubble background along with that Scripty Birthday. And then here's the inside of a card by Elena that uses that pop-up Wish Big with that cute little unicorn. And I just love the purple clouds that she created in the background. Here's a sweet and simple birthday card by Letitia that uses all these colorful die cuts. And then here is a card by Audrey that pairs that scripty happy with the scripty birthday along with a cupcake and those fun bunting borders. Here's a really cool card by Yainea that uses that scripty birthday for a really bold sentiment in the middle of this beautiful underwater scene that she created. And then Elise paired it with that scripty happy to do a slimline card. Look how perfectly the happy and the birthday stretch across a slimline card. Tammy created this really fun, clever card, and she made a birthday cake that looks like cheese for these little mice. It's just too cute. And then Grace created this fun reveal wheel card where the octopus is juggling some cupcakes. I just love it. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye.